melanin. Oh yeah, I got melanin. We got melanin. Melanin. We get it from my mama.
What's up, FlavaSquad? Welcome back to my channel. I am back again with another video. If you are not already subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button at the bottom. These are all the items you will need to make your bum closure wig. When placing your closure on your dome cap, you want to bring your lace closure down, I say maybe in half an inch below the dome cap line. This will help it look more natural. I like to place about 6 pins in my closure just to ensure that it's flat. You want your closure to be very flat. If it's not flat, it's going to look bulky when you put it on, or it might sit up on your head. When you begin sewing your closure down, you want to make sure on the band line that you do not go through the band. You only go through that top fabric on the band. If you go through the band will not stretch properly. When I sew with my needle going through the loop, and I pull just to ensure the tightness. You want your stitches to be as tight as possible on your closure. My personal preference when I'm sewing down my closure, I like to sew both sides down first and then sew the back. This just helps to ensure that it's flat. Feel free to make any adjustments that you may need. Just make sure that both sides are flat, the back is flat, and the front is a little below the dome cap line and flat as well. Now we'll begin installing the bundles. I suggest 3 to 4 pins when pinning down that first row, especially because it's loose and doesn't have much support. I decide to start off by going just below my ear area, and the same on the other side. Also, I want to point out that when I start my second row of sewing my bundles in, I'm doing the flip over method, and I also did not double the wefts when I started. That's a personal preference. If you want to, you can. I just did not personally want to double my weft, but it is possible if you want. My sewing method for the bundles is the same as the closure. I go through the weft, through the fabric of the band, not the actual band, and I loop it. The only difference is my stitches are not as close, just because I'm not going to say it's not as important, but it's not as important as the closure. If you're a beginner, just take your time. It's gonna take time for you to get in the flow and get used to things, especially when you're trying to go through the band. It's not the easiest to not hit the elastic, so you just want to ensure that you're not going through that elastic. So just take your time and find your flow. I've made wigs before, and as you can see, I'm still struggling with not hitting the band, but I eventually got it. One pro tip for you is to pre-make your needles, pre-thread your needles, so that you won't have to keep stopping and going back and threading needles over and over again. My styrofoam dome head in the back looks crazy, but it really saved me a lot of time. So when I'm starting my second track, like I said, I do the flip over method instead of the cutting of the track. Each time I do cut my tracks later on when like one bundle is almost done, but I don't cut it each time I start a new row. So once you flip it and pin it down, you just continue sewing. Now that I've made it to the top of the head, it's all about shaping your tracks. It's not that much room left, but you may have a lot of hair left, and that's just up to you. If you want to use all your bundles, you can try to fit it in those little spaces, but I was okay with not using all of my last bundle. Okay, this is the second most important part when it comes to making your wig, besides the closure. Your last track must be connected to the closure. You can either go around both wefts to connect them, or you can go through both wefts to connect them. I took the harder route and went through both wefts to connect them. The last part in making your wig, you want to pluck your closure. If you don't pluck the closure, it's just gonna look wiggy and it's gonna look fake. I mean, it's already fake, so you don't want it to look super fake. So what I do is I part out maybe 1 or 2 rows in the front, and you want to pluck behind those rows so it can look like your natural edges. Also, I didn't record this part, but the plucking of your part in your closure, whether it's a side part or a middle part, I did a middle part, and when I plucked my closure, I simply took 1 line of hair on both sides of the part and I plucked that 1 line out. I just feel like my natural part is skinny, so I don't need a super wide part in my closure. So it's really just up to your natural part. If your natural part on your head is wide, then you want to pluck more. And if your natural part on your head is skinny, then you want to pluck less. At the very end, you want to make sure that you cut out that excess dome cap fabric under your closure, but please be sure to not cut the stitches that are connected to the closure, or it's just gonna mess up your whole wig and you're gonna have to figure out how to fix it or start over. You want to get close to those stitches, but just not too close. And this is the final look, y'all. I was feeling this wig. I'm still feeling this wig. I'm wearing it every day. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like. Make sure you subscribe for more content. I'm coming with more wig making videos in different ways, so you don't want to miss it. Be sure to subscribe, and may your curls pop, whether they're yours or not, and your grind never stop. Bye, y'all.